This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Lockdown Coverage Week number 13. The National Football League, New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills on the road. First time this season these two teams have met. For the Patriots, it's the one team that still had an outside shot at catching them. A long outside shot, but a shot nonetheless of catching them in the AFC East division. A win here would pretty much sew up this division for the 19th million straight time for the New England Patriots. And after the struggles of the Bills of late, it felt like this was a foregone conclusion. But after the momentous win on the road versus Kansas City, you never know if this Bills team was going to show up and give the Patriots a fight. They did that for the first half of this game, and things kind of came unglued. And the score doesn't really indicate just how lopsided this victory was, as the Patriots really dominated the Bills physically on the field, hurting Tyrod Taylor and Gronk deciding to go WWE on one of their corners late in this ball game. But nonetheless, but they beat them up mentally as well. I mean, this is a Bills team that hasn't made the postseason in 17 years now. This will probably be 18 after this season is done, and any hopes that they looked like they might have had, I think the Patriots might have crushed them in just one fell swoop in this week. Tyrod Taylor's injury didn't look good. He was carted off the field, and they only mustered 3 points in this game. And despite some of the efforts of the defense that I thought performed well early in this game, their backs were broken eventually as the floodgates opened on the ground for the Patriots. And the biggest takeaway from this game wasn't, the Gronk play, which everyone will talk about today and tomorrow. Wasn't Brady getting into it on the sidelines with Josh McDaniels, which everybody will talk about today and tomorrow. And, I had a conversation with my sister and my dad about that. Tom Brady gets away with a lot of shit. And, look, when you're Tom TBE, you can get away with a lot of shit. But how many other players around the league have you seen get into it with people on the sidelines, whether it's other players, coaches, what may have you? He's never gotten into it with Belichick. He's not that damn ballsy. But every offensive coordinator he's had at some point, Brady's had a problem with something that they called or the way something was executed or whatever the case may be. Remember, he got into it with Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien said, "Hey, look, man, I ain't one of your little peons that you can go off on. I'm going to tell you about your goddamn self. You ain't going to be talking to me about me, to me, in front of my players like this. You ain't going to disrespect me. Ain't having that shit." And Bill O'Brien got in his face, and they had to be separated. Tom Brady really got in the grill of Josh McDaniels and early on in this game when they were struggling to score in the red zone. Patriots started out this game having to settle for 3 field goals in the red zone, as the Bills did a really good job of sacking Brady in the red zone and making it tough on them to get in the end zone, and they had to settle for field goals early. And Brady wasn't a huge fan of that, and I don't know exactly what the gripe was on the sidelines or what he was upset about, but how many people do you know can get away with that shit? And what I mean by get away with it, when Tom Brady does that, oh, he's such a competitor. Look at Tom Brady. He just wants to win. That's bullshit. Let that had been any of these receivers, they are malcontents. Oh my God, they're such divas. No, they just want the football. They know they can help their team win. But when the quarterback does it, oh my God, when Tom Brady, oh, he's such a leader. Look at him. He's such a competitor. He wants to win. Really? Come on, man. I got to come better than that. But in any event, this wasn't about that either. The biggest takeaway, and I've probably echoed this at least 3 times this year, maybe 2 of those 3 times have been over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This run game. This Patriots run game looks outstanding. And I know last week Dion Lewis lit up the Dolphins. Well, damn it, he did it again. He did it again in this game. Dion Lewis is running the rock. The Patriots are running the rock. Danny Woodhead had a nice game, had a nice run. Dion Lewis had another chunk run and ate him up, almost went for a buck in this game. Went for a buck and some change last week. Man, I'm going to tell you what. You say what you want. And yeah, Gronk tore the Bills a new asshole. Had one throw where he went up, climbed the ladder, and took the football from the defender like, hey, man, get off me. Give me that football. You don't know what to do with that, man. Let me get that. He went off a buck and some change in this game. He always kills the Bills, though. More so than any other team in the division, Gronk usually kicks the Bills' ass. He did it again. But the run game was the most impressive thing that I saw in this game from the Patriots. I was floored and moved by their run game and their ability to just gash the Bills. And I'm not saying the Bills have the most dominant run defense, but I'm going to tell you this much. That same Bills run defense, 11 carries, 17 yards for Kareem Hunt last week. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So it's not like they were just getting gashed on the ground by every team. No. They got their ass gashed in this game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots ran for over 200 on these boys in this game. They ran the rock. When this game was no longer in the balance, they kept pounding those boys. When the game was in the balance, they were pounding those boys. Impressive, to say the least. That's my biggest takeaway from this. It's not a lot to talk about. Patriots did what I expected them to do to the Buffalo Bills. It just took them a little bit longer to do it because I thought this was going to be a first half beatdown. And like I said, Bills did a great job of limiting the Patriots in the red zone early in this game, making them settle for 3 field goals. And you knew this was not going to be the Bills' day when they get down there and on their first trip into the red zone, Tyrod Taylor is hit as he's throwing a football and it's picked off by the Patriots. Hard to rebound because you knew you need points against this Patriots team. You need to score. And I had a discussion with my sister and my dad as we were watching this game, and the Patriots kept getting down the field, but they couldn't get in the end zone. And my dad looked at me and he said, they need to get in the end zone. And I said, yeah, because you know the Patriots aren't going to keep getting down there and settling for field goals. He said, you're right. The Bills need to do something. And he's like, I don't know if that means score on offense or stop them from getting in the red zone. But if the Patriots get down there again, and this was after they kicked their 3rd field goal, he said they're going to get in the end zone. And what did they do? They got down there. Dion Lewis bust off a huge run, and they got in the end zone. Then they got down there again off of a big run by Rex Burkhead, and they were right in the end zone again. And so it's what good teams do. And this Patriots defense that I crushed earlier, and I still don't think this is a great Patriots defense. Don't get me wrong, but they're holding their end of the bargain in the points department, and that's what matters the most. And I've always said about the Patriots, you can move the football 20-20 on them, but their calling card has been, hey, you're not getting in the end zone. You can take this 3, but you ain't getting 7, though. And they're back to that. And they dominated the Bills. They injured Tyrod Taylor, knocked him out of the game. Nathan Peterman comes in. He doesn't fare well. And I think they might have just taken any spirit, any fight that the Bills had left in this season right out of those boys. I think they're done now. At 6-6, it's a shame. But I think the Patriots might have just taken the Bills out of the playoff mix with this win, with this beatdown. As you get to the Bills quickly, not really much to say in the form of positivity after this game. You lose your quarterback, and we've seen what this team looks like without Tyrod Taylor, and we didn't want any more of that. Well, we don't have a choice now. Looks like we're going to be stuck with Nathan Peterman for the rest of the season. You hope he fares better than he did in his first start. He didn't look too good in this game. 6 of 15, didn't look sharp at all. And so I'm not expecting much out of Nathan Peterman, but, you know, you don't want to just go off of the first impressions of a quarterback, especially a rookie one. See what he does in his second act. But on the bright side, Shady McCoy had a great game. Almost went for 100 yards, but it was all in vain because you didn't score anything off of it for the most part. So that's frustrating. But, you know, the lack of talent at the receiver position continues to be a problem. This defense, which played so well at Kansas City, and granted, it was the Chiefs, but they scored 31 this week. And Tyreek Hill went off. They did nothing on offense against you last week, and this week your run defense couldn't stop this Patriots offense. And it was ridiculous. And that was a tough one to stomach because I thought the defense gave you a shot in the first half with the stops, and they fell apart in the second half on the ground, and the offense didn't help them out at all. You know, this was a total team loss for the Bills, and what had such promise, and you know what's crazy is Bills fans, when I started to believe, right around 5-3, maybe 5-2, something in there, I started to believe. And I had Bills fans coming out of the woodworks, especially one in particular saying, I'm not buying what they're selling. I'm a Bills fan. And while I can relate to what he's saying, I can't relate because I'm not a Bills fan, but I know exactly what he's talking about. Because as a Redskins fan, when people try to tell me about my team, I said, no, don't do that. Don't talk about my team as if you know the struggle and the strife, because you don't. You don't know what it's like. And he basically said to me, you don't know what it's like to be a Bills fan. And I don't. He's right. And he said, while you may believe, while you may be buying what these boys are selling, I want no parts of it because I know my team. And I know my team isn't as good as you may think. I've seen good starts before, terrible finishes. Until these boys show me for a complete 17-week season that they can get us to the playoffs, I'm not buying what they're selling. He was right. Because I think the Bills season is effectively over after this loss. Could be wrong. Doesn't look good right now. Does not look good at all for the Buffalo Bills after this loss. And it's a shame. Because after last week's win, there was a little bit of momentum, and there was a sense that if they could come home and at least be competitive, even if you didn't beat them, but you were competitive, you could finish out this season strong and give yourself a chance to make the postseason. Instead, you got embarrassed. You lose your starting quarterback. And for all intents and purposes, the Patriots went in and wrecked your season. Not to say that this season was heading anywhere anyway, but they pretty much put the exclamation point on your season being done. And at 6-6, you're not out of anything in the AFC by any stretch of the imagination. You're just one game out of the final wild card. A Baltimore Ravens loss next week versus the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, coupled with a win by you next week. You're right back in the thick of things. But the likelihood of that happening, not too good. Not with Nathan Peterman at quarterback. Yeah, we'll see. Anything can happen. It's National Football League. But Patriots get it done 23-3 with an impressive rushing performance. Sheer dominance. Between the run game and Gronk, I don't know which one was more dominant in this game, but they were equally impressive. Brady had a blow up on the sideline, doesn't matter. Gronk had a WWE elbow drop, doesn't matter. They dominated this game on the ground. That does matter. As they get it done 23-3, go to 10-2 on the season. And for all intents and purposes, I think that's like the third time I've said that because there's a lot of intents and purposes from the Patriots in this game. they've wrapped up the AFC East again with the win. Bills dropped to 6-6, and their playoff hopes look to be on life support. Despite only being a game out, it feels like so much more after this loss. Let's get to any comments that may be out there. Reese says, I remember us talking about Josh McDaniels and how he rubs people the wrong way. It looked like he and Brady almost came to blows. Still think he'd be a head coach soon. I told you how I feel about Josh McDaniels. We did have that conversation. I told you he rubs people the wrong way. And but Brady does the same thing. Brady's gotten into it with his coordinators before in the past. I don't necessarily know if this is just a Josh McDaniels problem. Brady is a hothead at times too. And they did look like they almost came to blows. I mean, Brady, I think he might have even headbutt Josh McDaniels on accident because they were so close. So that was an ugly situation. But, you know, Brady can get away with that because he's Tom TBE. And Josh McDaniels, it is what it is. We'll see what happens with him. He'll be a hot name this offseason because the Patriots will be good offensively yet again. And everybody will be drooling over the prospects of maybe having – but I just feel like there's a reason he's not a coach again already. And so we'll see if there's a reason behind it or if he was just waiting for the right opportunity and that opportunity comes and he takes a job. We'll see. But in any event, it's going to do it for the Patriots dominating the Buffalo Bills 23-3. Patriots improved to 10-2. Pretty much lock up the AFC East with the win. Bills dropped to 6-6, and I feel like this loss was just more than one. Feels more damaging than just a single loss if you're the Buffalo Bills. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. It's going to do it for your man Louie T here on Lockdown Coverage as the Patriots get it done 23-3 over the Bills. I've got one more breakdown for right now. That's going to be Raiders and Giants. So come back and join me for that. Or not. It is 3:47 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So you probably should be in your bed right now. But in any event, I forge on. See you in a second. Have a good one.